Hello everyone, it's an amazing day again. Today, what I'm going to tell you about is 10 types of toxic people, and let's discover this. Hello everyone, it's an amazing day again. We're in Hyde Park right now. I'm just in front of the lake and it's not crowded at all and it's amazing. The season is amazing. So I just wanted you to know where I am at right now and how I'm feeling, because every day I just feel so thankful and grateful that I live in London. And in this process, that lockdown, during the lockdown, the process we're going through, London is the best city that I can be at right now, because you can go to nature, you can do sports and everything. That's just the best feeling ever. I don't know, I just wanted to talk about this. So today, what I'm going to tell you about is how to maintain your positivity, because there are a lot of outer facts that bother you, that also might shake your state of mind, and we shouldn't let them hurt us. As much as the natural environment we live in, it's very important who we surround ourselves with. The quality of people, maybe I shouldn't say quality, but the frequency of people, they affect you so much. And I know as a fact that your mindset becomes the average of 5 people you spend the most time with around you. So to beware of downers around us, we should be more careful about who we're hanging out with. It's not like labeling or categorizing people, but it's more like diagnosis. It's more like just knowing that there is an illness there and we shouldn't let that illness affect us. So there are 10 types of illnesses, which is toxic people, as in their energy. And I'm going to talk to you about today those kind of people. 10 types of toxic people, and let's discover this. So first, the egoist. I know this very well because I also been through a process where I was about to be an egoist, and I was like, oh, okay, hold on there. So I want to talk to you about this. It doesn't mean at the time of your life you can also get toxic, or someone can be toxic, but it doesn't mean it's their character or they're going to stay like that forever, or it doesn't mean they're a bad person. It's just like an illness. So I know about this egoistic thing a lot. So ego focuses on the differences between you and the other people, and it makes you feel either like a superior person or an inferior person, which makes you a victim. So ego doesn't let you be equal with the surroundings. So there is actually a huge difference between, but that difference is sometimes hard to understand, between self-love and ego. And first you gotta look at yourself to decide if it's arrogance that you feel or self-love, actually. Because if it's self-love, you're not going to compare yourself with anyone but just you in yesterday. But if it's arrogance, you're going to be comparing yourself with the surroundings and then feel like you're better, and then it's gonna make you feel better just for a while. But deep inside, it's gonna be a toxic feeling, I assure you. So when you see this kind of behavior around you, when you feel like the person you're talking to is proud of themselves in a way that they think they're better than the others, then it means they're the egoistic type of toxic person. But if just someone is just naturally proud of themselves and think everyone is as great, so it's just self-love maybe, I don't know. So beware of the egoistic types and keep on loving yourself, and just know that if you really, really, really love yourself, your arrogance will never be toxic. The second one is envious. I don't have a personal experience at this. I've never had a time where I felt envious or something like that. Maybe I have a little, so I know how it feels like, but it's not like the egoistic toxic thing that I have been working on. So I'm just going to assume right now, while speaking about the envious people, actually I have seen envious people, and it was really, really hard to understand and say that, like, call it out, like this is an envious person, because you don't know about the feeling. So as I understand, as I have observed, the envious people they like your difficult times more than your victory, because when your victory happens, they feel like that you're not the one who deserves it, but they are the one who deserves it. For me, for their own good, for these people's own healing and health, they should be left alone, definitely, because I don't think there is a social cure for them, and they are the only cure that they're looking for. So they have to solve it in their own minds. 3, I think this is one of the most common toxic energy around, the pretentious one. Because pretentiousness is such a toxic energy that sometimes you don't even know that you're pretending. And it happens to all of us, because in social life, there are terms that we have to pretend, or it's very hard to be genuine. And it's a quality that cannot be handled by everybody. But I always do this in my own personal life to prove myself if that person is pretentious, or even if I am pretentious. I tend to make things harder to see if they are or I am really what I say I am, or if they're what they say they are. So how we can see if a person is pretentious or not is just, I think it's defined by circumstances. When the circumstances are comfortable and everything, they're the kindest. But when the circumstances get harder, they're not the same person they used to be anymore. So if a person changes according to circumstances, you should know that you don't want to live a fake relationship. The retrogressive ones. So I think this is a consequence of a conservative mind, which is not open to change. So these kind of people want you to stay the same and stick to old habits and remain the person that you are, that they have always known. And they don't know that you stay the same whatever you do. Whichever way you take, you're gonna be you. They're not aware of that. They stereotype you in their own minds, and maybe they even stereotype themselves in their minds. So they make themselves a limited comfort zone, which they want to keep you in as well. These kind of people are not that hard to deal for me as much as the envious people or any other type, because this is a consequence of a closed mind that can be opened. But we should pinpoint that people, and we should know when someone is telling you that, oh, you have changed and everything. If your change makes you feel good, then you should take them with you. And if they don't want to come, you should put your boundaries. The judgmental type. So there is a sharp way of pinpointing those people. I can tell you that they are the worst listeners around, because they have their own facts, and deep inside they're so attached with their own facts and their own limitations, and maybe they're very afraid to face the new realities, so they stick to their realities and they want their realities to be everyone's. So they're very bad listeners, the worst communicators. They believe that everything should be as they believe and as they see, and I think they're one of the most cowardice people, that they cannot even bear the other possibilities of realities. The controller, the control freaks. This toxic behavior, which I experienced from my own mom, that she used to be a control freak, but I was so rebellious that she had to give up. And now she's a very spontaneous person. She's much more relieved thanks to me. So the control freaks are, I call it playing the god. This kind of behavior is also based on fear, definitely. But they are the kind of people that who want to know where everything is going, and that's why they want to keep you in their limits as well. They want to be in control of everything, so there is no place for freedom around them, and it's so hard to make them better or convince them to be spontaneous. Sometimes just saying goodbye to those people might be your best option. But if it's a very close person to you, which has been to me, then it's okay to fight. The liar. What I think about honesty is I'm never being honest for the sake of other people. I'm not being honest because I'm a kind person or anything. I'm just being honest because I think to myself, I mean, who are they to make me hide my reality? Is this circumstance really big enough for me to deny my reality or hide my reality and come up with something that is fake? I think nothing's worth it. Nothing really is worth you hiding your own reality. And that's where my honesty comes from. And I think people who are frequently lying are also, this kind of behavior is based on their fears. So maybe we should encourage them that honesty is not a favor, but honesty is an encouragement and a superpower that you can find in yourself. And the more you're being honest, the more your confidence will rise up, because you'll never feel the need to hide your own reality. And to see that you can be out there with your own reality, and you can make your reality and dreams come true, will give you confidence. So the liars, that type of person for me, is not the type of person that you should be running away from, but I think those are the people that you should be inspiring with honesty. They really need to be inspired. The gossiper. So I have a quote here, which is: small minds talk about people, mediocre minds talk about events, and great minds talk about ideas. So it's not that your mind is small, great, or mediocre. It gets all of them even in one day. It's not that your mind is great, small, or mediocre. It tends to get all of those kinds even in one day, in one person. So the gossipers are the people who choose to keep their minds small. Because of the recognition and the attention they need, they find this easy way to win their social identities. Maybe they don't feel socially enough, so they need recognition and they need to be involved in something. So they choose this easy way to talk about other people and to make comments about other people's lives. I think these are also the people that shouldn't be stayed away from, but these are the people that we need to show how better it feels to talk about ideas instead of other people. The parasite. These are the people who are using you for their own interest. I think they objectify people and see everyone as materials, including themselves. These people only can teach you how not to make yourself used in the hardest ways. But these people are the ones that should be stayed away from at all costs, because they're going to drain your energy. The victim. So this is the 10th one, and I think this is the same with the egoistic one. Although it looks like they're opposite, I think they're very, very similar, because one of them thinks they are superior and this one thinks they're inferior, and both are just making themselves different from the others. And I think this is the ego making you do that. So the victims are the moaners. Victims, they don't accept responsibility on anything. They just point out others, and they don't accept that everything they are also a part of is kind of their responsibility. They just like to moan instead of solving issues. So these kind of people, again, are not to be stayed away from, but to be made aware that they have a responsibility whatever they're complaining about. So today we talked about 10 types of toxic people, but I want to declare that this is not types of people. This is types of behavior. And these kind of toxic behavior can appear in all of us in different circumstances. But to not let these kind of behavior become our personality and become the way we react to life, that we should acknowledge these kind of behavior by observing them first in ourselves and then in our environment, and know how to deal with them in a healthy way. So this video was to make you to be aware of unhealthy things that are going on around you and to stay healthy in spirit. I'll see you in the next video of Londonist. Thank you for today, for listening to me.